I'll be talking about the fourth industrial revolution in ways how we can adapt to change. I'll just quote this quote by Seneca. He says, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. That means we are moving away from paper environment to paperless environment. It will help with that, what's that thing? It will help us with climate change when we are moving away from paper to paperless environment. And at the center of all of this, leaders need to be mindful to put people first. At the center of this, the new leadership, because the leadership will change, and the imperative of the new leadership is very clear. We need to create a future work that includes digital. And that future work will help us in moving away from these distresses that we are having in South Africa. Although CEOs and managers, they rank future of their work high on their priority of list, but they are not translating concern into action. I'm not sure it's because of lacking knowledge of this monster that is called the fourth industrial revolution. But while we are still backing away, the skills gap is becoming an ever widening. When you see this picture, I don't know what are you thinking or what's your opinion on this. But I will quote Michael Leffenfeld when he says, we need to digitalize the human. By digitalizing the human, he says digitalization, yes, it's not about removing people, but it's about making operations more safer and efficient. It will create more jobs, but the problem with more jobs that it will create, the type of jobs will change. It will no longer be those jobs that we are used to. It was said by 2020, the concept of technology companies will be done. And with my knowledge that I have now, it's that even with IP addresses, South Africa is running out of IP addresses. And we were given up until end of November that we will be out of IP version 4 IP addresses. And we'll need to be starting to use the IP version 6 IP addresses. And we are lacking behind on that because we are still fearing this beast called fourth industrial revolution. When these technology companies disappear, introduction of this fourth industrial revolution, it will be ingrained as our DNA. And that will help successful organizations when we are dealing with this fourth industrial revolution. Accenture has been very vocal when it comes to fourth industrial revolution. When we are talking about collaboration, I will quote Mrs. Ellen Shook. When she's talking about this collaboration part, she says it's very crucial that new partnerships among businesses, governments, educational institutions, most of all, the labor unions and labor companies, because our workforce now, they trust those labor unions more than they trust CEOs and management. So I'm very vocal when it comes to collaboration, because when collaboration happens, when this industrial revolution is starting to happen, policies will be changed. There'll be change in government policies, there'll be change in other structures of the government. But if we have this collaboration between private sector and government, it will help us moving forward with introduction of this fourth industrial revolution. When we are coming to development of new skills, I heard the panel, they touched on training, and training initiatives must be upgraded to enable self-assessment and self-directed learning by giving workers access to the right content and development opportunities. Digital innovations will continually and rapidly alter the demand of skills in the future work. Skills building must be accelerated while differentiating between developing new job-relevant skills supported by innovative learning formats, leveraging intelligent technologies so workers have access to topical information and knowledge at their fingertips. Change in agility. What I would like to say to the leaders who are in this room, do not wait for disruption when asking people to adapt. There's only one thing we can start to do. It's to anticipate and plan for change. Agility prepares people for uncertainty. Continuous learning keeps them relevant. So agility is marked as proactiveness and the capacity to anticipate change and develop new solutions through multi-stakeholder collaboration. So I will push the collaboration part, because without companies collaborating, it will be difficult for South Africa to adapt easily, or for the government to adapt easily to this fourth industrial beast, which is called the revolution. So I only have 3 things. Maybe they can be takeaways, not food. They can be takeaways to the leaders. My first point will be leaders need to understand artificial intelligence. But more importantly, its implication for the people they lead and the business they manage. They need to understand data, but more importantly, how to use this data to improve engagement and performance. The second one, leaders need to determine which existing jobs are most likely to be affected. That one will be the how and when. We need to see that these jobs will be affected by which time and how, so that we can start preparing for this beast called Fourth Industrial Revolution. They need to identify new jobs and emerging skills requirements, providing the insights to initiate the rapid skill development. When we are talking about leaders, during my research, I had to come with these 5 points that I think leaders need to have moving forward with this Fourth Industrial Revolution. When we are talking about collaborative, future leaders won't stay in their back or corner offices. It will be imperative that leaders in the future work alongside with their employees and get to know their strengths and weaknesses to help them acquire new skills and help drive their professional development. They will be very collaborative once they have those sort of skills. Then when it comes to accountability, leaders need to be accountable. Leaders need to earn the respect from their team by holding themselves accountable. The workplace of the future will become more transparent and collaborative. In this environment, it's crucial for leaders' actions to be in alignment with the company's goals and objectives. Courageous leaders, when we are talking about being courageous, when you are starting this Fourth Industrial Revolution, there won't be a roadmap mapping how we deal or how we do this we deal with this Fourth Industrial Revolution. This requires leaders to have courage to face the unknown and navigate difficult circumstances. Possibly even more essential is the courage to change course in the event the situation calls for the new strategy. Okay. Agile, active, agile, due to the speed of change in the future workplace, leaders will have to agile and able to embrace and celebrate change. This is an opportunity to grow and innovate. Emotional intelligence. I always stress when it comes to emotional intelligence, because emotional intelligence plays a major role in the Fourth Industrial Revolution. When people have the skill of emotional intelligence, they can adapt to change easily. Just as employees will need healthy amount of emotional intelligence, it will be critical for leaders in the future workplace to be able to perceive, understand, and manage emotions, theirs and their team's emotions. In closure, I will stress with this collaboration part, because without collaboration, it will be difficult for future leaders to engage with their employees. It will be difficult because employees are scared, and they are scared of the unknown. And when they are starting to speak to their leaders, they manage to see that some of their leaders also, they are in the dark with this fourth industrial revolution. So the focus on connection, and collaboration is particularly important as leaders consider how to engage all stakeholders to solve the challenge of workplace transition and workforce enablement. So with businesses, when we are talking about true collaboration, it means it will increase the chances of acquiring and retaining critical talent and enhancing the relevance and employability of workforce to drive innovation and economic growth when the competition is so high. True collaboration when it comes to government, it will accelerate economic growth and greater prosperity for the citizens. Through lifelong learning, which will be these trainings that will be conducted through this fourth industrial revolution, by connecting and collaborating across key education and work social welfare systems, we can manage to take a step, one or two steps forward, approaching this fourth industrial revolution. I thank you.